Good evening. Recently, the electric utility industry is changing and focusing on a smart grid that leverages on a wide range of digitally based advanced technologies that will automate many electric system functions. This emerging smart grid has been described as the convergence of electric system and information technologies, and thus Thomas Edison meets Bill Gates. This system allows for monitoring, analysis, control, and communication within the supply chain to help improve efficiency, reduce energy consumption and cost, and maximize the transparency and reliability of the energy supply chain. The electric system that has served us so well since the dawn of the 1900s will then be integrated with digital technologies to provide utility customers the enhanced information, services, and reliability that are so critical in the 21st century. The smart grid was introduced with the aim of overcoming the weaknesses of conventional electrical grids, and one component essential in this realization is the smart AMI meter. To begin, I'll describe what AMI and smart meters are, then proceed with discussing the other components, the collector, the HES, and the MDMS. This last component happens to be the heart of AMI, and two more slides will be dedicated to further explore. Various integration architectures will be visualized next. So we have the fundamental, the cloud offered solution, and a sample vendor solution architects. Key AMI ADMS integration use cases include distribution system monitoring and optimization, theft detection, and revenue protection. But I chose to focus on enhanced outage management and restoration. In the Philippines, it was determined that frequent power interruptions or low reliability and resilience rank number one in electric utility concerns. These are caused by aging infrastructure, coal plant breakdowns, and natural disasters, to name a few. And these all lead to high SAIDI and SAIFI scores. This integration, therefore, hopes to improve operational efficiency, reduce non-technical losses, and increase grid reliability. The third section is an overview of code implementation in the cloud, automation, and AWS services will be used to implement this proof of concept workflow for the following simple scenario. So suppose AMI detects exactly where the power is out. And this is the customer level. And then the SCADA OMS system will then help automatically detect and restore the feeders. The screenshot of the pilot dashboard will be shown in the last slides. There are three of them. So we have the meter status overview, the customer meter info, as well as the GIS meter location visualization panels. In the background, there will also be an analytics panel, which will not be shown. And additionally, an email notification alert has also been configured using the AWS SNS service. Emails have been confirmed received with classification headers for customer level, transformer level, and feeder level outages. As mentioned earlier, the foundation of the smart grid starts with the advanced metering infrastructure, or the AMI. Through the installation of smart meters and supporting information technologies, customers now have access to enriched and vast energy data and innovative rate structures and programs will be implemented that will enable customers to assume greater control of their energy consumption. Eventually, they will be relabeled as prosumers, or individuals that both consume and produce energy, thus bringing the gap between producer and consumer. Here we have the definition as per ERC. So an AMI is an infrastructure involving hardware, network, and storage. It enables two-way communication for monitoring and control, and between the consumers and the DUs. Therefore, it provides a mechanism to do such to the customer's electricity usage. Below here, we also have a typical integration architecture, also as defined by the ERC. We will be referring to this same high-level architecture in the succeeding slides. The second component is the collector, and it refers to a field functional equipment that provides the communication interface between the smart meters and the head-end system, or the MDCS. The collectors receive and collect the data from the meter and sends it to the HES. Now, the HES should be able to support the DU's AMI services, which may include the following: remote upgrade of software firmware, remote configuration of the smart meters, network and device management capability, scheduled on request and endpoint initiated data collection, to name a few of the major functionalities. The next component is worth discussing in detail since it is the heart of the AMI. The meter data management system refers to the system that aggregates, validates, estimates, and edits meter data, or what we call the VEE functionality, such that energy export and import and meter logs will be determined. The MDMS also stores this data for a limited amount of time before it goes to a data warehouse which will then make this data available to external authorized systems. The MDMS handles the meter data gathered by the AMI so that the key features of this system will also include the following: data capture from multiple sources, integration with CIS, among others. So we also have billing, data analytics, OMS, and disaster recovery. Integration with HES as defined by ERC standard requirement identifies the following intervals for data capture. But why is MDMS an essential component? Now we have here 5 bullets. The first one being that in recent years, we now have the accumulation of large volumes of data in the range of the petabyte or multi-petabyte levels. But this data is really never 100% clean, and it needs VEE. And this is a crucial info that leads to revenue generation. The MDMS also has ETL functions. It transforms data so that it would be compatible with other systems. Lastly, this data will be used to analyze trends in customer resource usage, and this data analytics will then be used to provide enhanced customer experience. Also, this data will be used for investigative cases such as pilferage. But as much as the AMI project could be successful in these 3 key areas: technology, performance, and integration, it cannot be ignored that any smart grid implementation will have its set of challenges. Among them, and the prime consideration would be interoperability, because we have to ensure that there is seamless integration of various technologies, communication protocols from different vendors. And this is the real scenario. Next is our data protection issues, which needs to be addressed. Data protection can include data privacy and user access, like correct authorization and correct authentication. Other challenges is the cost. Now, locally, ERC also identifies these 4 challenges, specifically in the Philippine setting. First, we have high deployment cost, because AMI initially, at least, will really require massive capital investment, and thus careful cost benefit analysis is really important. We also have technical and infrastructure hurdles. We have the human capital limitations. Since this is a new set of skills, we have to have comprehensive operator training and public education on the premises for data privacy. Lastly, the we have the existence of the regulatory considerations themselves. So ERC should carefully evaluate the high-cost programs such that more often than not, they will recommend phasing the program. Of course, we also have other challenges like meter tampering. Now here we have a high-level architecture of the AMI SCADA OMS integration. And as pointed out earlier, the real scenario use cases could be in the areas of customer information service, data analytics, and outage management, disaster demand response. And we will be focusing our efforts in enhancing OMS. This would be our focal point of this POC. Now, AMI has evolved over the past 2 decades with the advancement in technology, especially in the edge devices. In the cloud, there are communication and enterprise layers so that the next generation of smart metering systems, dubbed as AMI 2.0, will take advantage of these advancements. So, when rolling out new smart metering, important architectural decision considerations are, there are three of them. First, the solution should be resilient and automatically scales to multiple millions of endpoints. Second, the solution should minimize the overhead to maintain and operate metering solutions. And third, the solution should allow for the ability to manage and run multiple metering and energy-related applications at the edge. This will reduce the operational overheads of managing the infrastructure required to run the smart metering solutions, thus improving the metering reliability and enabling value-added metering services still at the edge. This can be achieved by using AWS serverless and IoT services. So, for instance, this serverless service on AWS can scale up and down automatically without manual intervention and without infrastructure provisioning by the customers. The AWS IoT services can significantly ease the management of the metering fleet with capabilities such as automated health, security patching, and over-the-air software distribution. This architecture can further be enhanced to address additional use cases based on customer-specific requirements. In our case, we will be trimming down the components, and for our use case, we will only be utilizing these cloud services. So after the smart meter, we will be using such services as AWS IoT Core, the AWS Lambda, which is the central programming component, the DynamoDB, which will act as our MDMS, the Amazon SQS and SNS will act as the publisher of our alerts, going to emails and cell phone notifications. We also have the Amazon Gateway, which will be our component to communicate with our external outage management NDR. Now, this is a sample vendor's AMI architecture. It is a comprehensive end-to-end smart energy management solution allegedly designed to provide secure, bidirectional communication between the EMX and the meter data management system. It would be utilizing a cloud platform plus AI plus the smart terminal approach. Components include the EMX or the electricity metering and intelligent terminals. These are the smart meters at the cost consumer level. They record, measure, and transmit consumption data featuring remote connectivity, anti-tamper capabilities, and also demand control. Next, we have the gateway, and they act as intermediate nodes that collect data from the AMX in a LAN. The HES or the head-end system manages the communications with the gateway. It also handles commands and data acquisition. And lastly, and the most important of all, is the MDMS. This is the central software application that processes, validates, and stores data, providing it to the utility enterprise systems such as billing and CRM. So, key features of this vendor architecture is flexibility. It can support many communication protocols like PLC, RF mesh, 2G, 3G, 4G, NB-IoT. Security. It adheres to international standards such as DLMS, COSEM, to ensure a secure data transmission. This architecture also scales. It is designed to support massive deployments with systems capable of managing up to millions of smart meters. And of course, everything is bidirectional so that it will allow for remote configuration, firmware upgrades, and power management. This is a summarized feature of the solution. So the vendor uses Amazon Web Services as its PaaS, or platform as a service, because this solution offers cost-effective, it is cyber secure, it has high availability and fault tolerant. It also offers short recovery time objective and near zero or zero recovery point objectives. This would be the programming layer of this POC. And this POC aims to simulate first the AMI smart meters that detects power outages at the customer level. Second, the SCADA system that automatically restores feeders. And third, the real-time processing with event-driven automation. So the system workflow summary is as follows. The AMI meter will send real-time data to the AWS edge devices or the IoT core. Data is then stored in the DynamoDB, essentially the MDMS. Outage detection Lambda will process the meter data and will identify the power outages. When an outage is detected, the system automatically triggers a SCADA restoration, also through Lambda. This SCADA system will perform automatic feeder restoration through network reconfiguration. And lastly, notifications will be sent via SNS to the utility operators. Additional Python programming to determine outage cluster classification as follows. It can be a transformer cluster level or feeder outage level. And also, the classification could be a geographic outage level. So this proof of concept demonstrates how AWS services can be integrated to create an intelligent power grid management system that automatically detects outages at the customer level and initiates restoration procedures through SCADA automation. The system is designed to be scalable, fault tolerant, and cost effective using serverless technology. This AWS service will automatically scale based on demand. And looking at this cost estimate, the implementation proved to be very cost effective for the base environment, making it an excellent investment to validate this SCADA AMI integration architecture. This low cost will also allow for extensive testing without budget concerns. The 1,300 so cost scaling factor from POC to production will also demonstrate the importance of thorough testing at the POC level. Here's a glimpse of our operational dashboard. This first one is the meter status overview, and indicates it should indicate real-time status per meter. So the green indication is an online status, while the red indicators indicate offline with outage with existing outages. Next, we have the meter management configuration panel. This is where we configure our assets or smart meters. So here is where we add, update, or delete meters along with their accompanying parameters or information such as location, the customer, the type of service, the voltage level, and even the latitude or and longitudinal coordinates of the location, which these coordinates would be used for this next dashboard, which is the GIS representation of the meters. So as you can see, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a multimeter location. So we have here actually 2 meters. And this would be our functional GIS when we deploy this in production. So as of this writing, the above implementation workflow has already been deployed completely in a free tier AWS Dev account. And I can actually have a practical demo afterwards. So the next task would be the creation of an AWS prod account. And this is also in the process following the successful outcome of this POC. So thank you for listening. Thank you for your time and have a nice day. Thank you.